Hey, welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Today, we're going to explore how to unlock your full potential, find inner peace, and build lasting confidence. Our guest is a distinguished life coach who specializes in empowering high-performing women and organizations, and I'm delighted to introduce Zerina Derveni. Zerina has a very impressive background consulting with Fortune 500 brands. I'm not going to go through the full bio because I really want to get down to talking with Zerina. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. As mentioned, you have been working with some very, very large organizations before stepping away to embrace coaching. Can you tell us a little bit about the transition? What was that moment of realization that led you to shift from the corporate world to a career in coaching?
Yeah, so it was a few moments I think for me, and then finally I took the courage to really make the shift into coaching full time. But I had worked for three Fortune 500 companies. From a global perspective, I was an executive working in Klein services and consulting. And then finally, I think it took me almost 6 months to a year to really do the transition and invest in myself. And I think it came from a moment of clarity that just through a lot of the self-development work that I did that just, pushed me to really pursue it. And here I am now and really excited about it as well.
Absolutely. And Zerina, you have a book, which I know we're going to talk about at the end of our segment, but you talk about transforming anxiety into inner peace. But actually, I want to focus on a term that you use, redefining success on your own terms. What does that mean in a practical sense? How can, especially you're talking to many women, how can they start making life decisions that are in alignment with their core values?
Yeah, so a lot of times, as women, we mistake validation for connection or success for fulfillment. And we don't have a clear compass of what our core value is or are. And with that as well, we don't really have a good understanding of what our main purpose is. So it's unlearning a lot of what we know, and that's through self discovery. Now, the unlearning journey is very uncomfortable, but this is where growth happens because you're tapping into the subconscious mind of everything that you know so far. So really, it's challenging ourselves to take a step back, tap into self-awareness, but not just self-awareness from understanding. It's actually doing something about it. So a lot of my coaching sessions are framed around the unlearning, so that we can get to actually figuring out what it is that you want to do, where's your strengths, what is your purpose in life, so that way when you are navigating through life, you have a much more clarity of the value you want to bring, whether it's career, personal, or through relationships.
Absolutely. Again, I'm chatting with Zerina Derveni. And Zerina, you have an amazing reputation and a unique blend of expertise for helping women who feel stuck, lost, or simply curious to level up, guiding them to embrace their inner strength, overcome obstacles, and create lasting transformation in both personal and professional lives. And it's on that over here for a moment. Beyond relationships, you also have guided women, but I want to actually steer this conversation to talking to any of our listeners on how they can foster stronger connections with family and colleagues. And I underline this, setting healthy boundaries. What's one key piece of advice you'd like to offer in these arenas?
So I think the first one really is being open to communication and making sure that you're constantly working on improving your communication. We tend to invest in a lot of different areas to improve us, whether it's in sports or whether it's in health and wellness. But really, how many of us are really thinking about how do we improve our communication? So one of the core teachings that I really focus on is EQ over IQ. So, for example, if I am having an argument with my husband, for example, and I can respond in a very intelligent way and probably be right as a woman, right? But I don't want to be right. I want us to be happy. So it's really using empathy and being able to tap into the emotional intelligence side and really getting to the bottom of like, okay, like what's going on? Like, let's just really like figure out how we can both, move forward from this. I listen to you, you listen to me. Hopefully, we come to a compromise, or at least we feel like we've been listened to. So, tapping into that EQ part of us, I think, is really important because right now there's a lot of society pressure being put on being intelligent and like, being self aware that you get your way. But that's just not how it works in human connection. It's really, creating more value and space for communication and connection.
Zerina, I want to give the final word back over to you. Of course, how we can find your book, find out about your coaching services, and connect with you. But also, lastly, if you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice about self-confidence, living authentically, what would it be?
It would have to be to look for value that I'm creating rather than significance. So I think I spend a lot of time trying to get these accolades and reach these milestones and successors that I thought was at that time, something that I should have been praised for. When now it's focusing on what value are you as a person creating at work, at home, in your community, and focus on that value. And once you do that, you naturally will get rewarded for it long term, right? So I think I've been doing it the other way around in my younger years, and now it's
Mhm.
like really leading with this value.
And how can we get in touch?
So you can contact me on my website directly at www.zerinalifecoach.com. I have a lot of my services there, more about me, and it's the best way to reach me. A lot of my services are more exclusive, so I'd love to set up a consultation call through there. And yeah, I mean, a lot of the work I'm doing right now is around self discovery. So really interesting stuff and how we can better understand who it is that we are and want to be.